If you listen to this music, you are aware that you are going to be entertained by a great car show called Driving with Gloves.
History is a funny thing. Most people think the car was invented by the Germans and perfected by the Americans, but they are wrong, because while the rest of the world was still figuring out how to keep a horse alive, the French Peugeot family was already an industrial powerhouse.
Peugeot is the oldest surviving car brand in the world. They started as a steel foundry in 1810.
By the 1840s, they were masters of steel, making saws and those famous pepper mills. In fact, they've been building cars continuously since 1889.
To put that into perspective, the company that claims to have invented the motor car, Mercedes-Benz, wasn't even founded until 1926.
By the time the Germans had finished filling out the paperwork to merge their companies, Peugeot had already been making cars for nearly 40 years.
The history of the motor car is often told as a German fairy tale. We are told that in 1886 Carl Benz invented the motor car, but that is, to put it politely, complete and utter rubbish.
If you want to find the true birth of the self-propelled machine, you have to go back to 1769 to a Frenchman named Nicolas Joseph Cugnot. He built a steam-powered Fardier that could move without a horse. And then there is Peugeot's logo, the lion, trademarked in 1858. It wasn't chosen because the founder went on safari. It represented the three qualities of their saw blades: the toughness of the teeth, the flexibility of the spine, and the speed of the cut. It is a symbol of sharpness.
And by the end of 1986, or better, model year 1987, they applied this sharpness to a small hatchback, the Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9. And thanks to Simoncar in Switzerland, I have the possibility to film this car today.
So let's put on my gloves and drive. Hi, my name is Cor, and welcome to my channel, Driving with Gloves. I always drive with driving gloves. Your question might be, why does he drive with gloves? And my answer is, why not? A hatchback is defined by its two-box design, one box for the engine and one shared box for the passengers and cargo, accessed by a giant rear door, the hatch, that hinges at the roofline and lifts upward.
And it were again the French, who not only invented the automobile, but also the hatchback.
The first hatchback was the Citroën Traction Avant Commercial from 1938. The first modern mass-market hatchback came from 1961. It was the French Renault 4, and that car made this design really popular.
Yes, this is a small hatchback, but it is very fun to drive. But today I'm not only driving a hatchback, I'm driving a hot hatch. The Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9, which is for sale at Simoncar in Switzerland.
So the French are not only the inventors of the car in 1769, but they also have the oldest continuously producing car company since 1889, Peugeot. They also invented the hatchback in 1938, they made the hatchback popular from 1961, but they also invented the hot hatch with the Simoncar 1100 Ti in 1973.
That was 3 years before the Volkswagen GTI was launched, and that was 1 year before ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest with Waterloo.
Un GTI 1.9, l'adrénaline. Plus qu'une voiture, une icône, une envie, la légende qui domine.
I think you are now looking differently at history, or don't you? But no worries, I'm not going to tell you that the French won the Battle of Waterloo.
While Volkswagen was making the Golf bigger and heavier, the French went the other way. They made a car that weighs about as much as a packet of crisps. The Peugeot GTI 1.9.
Le lion est lâché, laisse-le rugir. 130 chevaux, prêt à tout brûler. Sur l'asphalte chaud, elle va surgir. Poids, plume, pur sang, aucun compromis. Chante salut, le regard de braseur.
The 1.9 litre engine only produces 130 PS in a modern world where a family saloon already has 200 PS. That sounds pathetic. But in a car that only weighs 880 kilograms, this is turned into a rocket ship. So is that what you call rocket science?
La reine des nuits, la fin de l'ennui, dans chaque virage, elle est à son aise. 205 GTI.
It doesn't have power steering, it doesn't have ABS, it doesn't even have a cup holder. If you want something to drink, you go to a boulangerie and you order "Je voudrais un jus d'orange avec un croissant, s'il vous plaît."
La légende qui domine. GTI 1.9. Sentez la puissance, rien ne l'arrête. Rien ne l'arrête.
What it does have is a sense of urgency that makes every other car feel like it is stuck in a vat of treacle.
It has also what we call lift-off oversteer, which means if you are going around a corner too fast and you suddenly get scared and take your foot off the throttle, the back of the car will try to overtake the front.
It is not a car that tries to protect you, it's a car that constantly is trying to kill you. It's like being in a relationship with a beautiful French supermodel that occasionally is trying to stab you with a kitchen knife. It's exciting, it's terrifying, and I love it.
And this French supermodel has a 1.9 litre 4-cylinder engine with a Bosch L Jetronic multi-point fuel injection, single overhead cam, 2 valves per cylinder, a maximum power output of 130 PS at 6000 RPM, maximum torque at 161 Nm at 4750 RPM. It is front-wheel drive, has a 5-speed manual gearbox, weighs only 880 kilograms. It does 0 to 100 km an hour in 7.8 seconds and has a top speed of 206 km an hour.
The car we are looking at today didn't just come out of thin air. It had a father. It's called the Peugeot 104 ZS.
The 104 was a tiny angry box. It taught Peugeot that if you make a car short enough and stiff enough, it stops being a mode of transport and starts being a toy. It was the rough draft. The 205 was the masterpiece.
This is the 1.9 litre from 1987. This was the king. In a modern car, 130 PS wouldn't even be enough to power the air conditioning. But this car weighs less than a heavy suitcase. This car is light, it's lean, it's frenetic.
And there is a reason it feels so focused. You see, while the 205 GTI was conquering the high street, its brother, the T16, was busy murdering the competition in Group B rallying. In 1985 and 86, Peugeot didn't just win, they humiliated the Audi Quattro. They took the most dangerous era of motorsport and made it their own.
When you drive this car, you're not driving just a French hatchback. You're sitting on a mountain of rally-winning DNA.
It's a road-going version of a car which was once too fast for its own good.
The Peugeot 205 is a legend of the 1980s and 90s, often copied, but rarely matched for that special charm. So who designed such an excellent looking car?
A lot of people automatically assume that the iconic look of the Peugeot 205 came from the famous Italian design house Pininfarina, but that is actually a myth. The true story behind the styling of the 205 breaks down into the following key points. Peugeot decided to hold an internal competition between Pininfarina and their own in-house styling team. The internal Peugeot design team won the competitions hands down.
The Peugeot 205 was officially launched in February 1983. It was the savior of Peugeot, and it remained in production for 15 years until 1998.
The 205 was so successful that Peugeot actually wanted to replace it with a 206 much earlier. But the 205's design was so timeless that they simply kept building it until its successor was finally ready in 1998.
The first GTI saw the light of day in March 1984. It had a 1.6-litre engine which produced only 104 PS.
In 1986, Peugeot updated the 1.6-litre engine with a new cylinder head, larger valves and revised camshaft to bump the power up to 115 PS, giving it a much more eager, high-revving character.
The big GTI, which is particularly sought by collectors, followed also in 1986.
The 1987 Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9 is widely considered one of the greatest hot hatches ever built.
Thanks to its incredible featherweight chassis, the 1.9 GTI offers sports car slaying acceleration for its time. The 1.9 model received significant chassis upgrades over its 1.6 sibling to handle the extra power and torque. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Driving with Gloves with the Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9, and thanks to Simoncar in Switzerland for lending me this car. See you soon in a new episode of Driving with Gloves.